to the sim?
Um, there were some parts that were similar. Some parts were a little bit different, but that's to be expected. I mean, did the best job they could of scanning it. But yeah, I thought the sim was at least a useful tool to kind of get an idea. It's just can't push a button and reset out here. So if it takes a little more time to get speed and as your risk reward stuff. But yeah, they did a good job on the sim. Scan was fairly accurate.
And then did you and Chase plan on going viral this morning with your scooter ride?
No, I didn't. Caitlin did us dirty on that one. But we're staying at the same hotel, and I was like, hey, I got a scooter if you want to ride instead of walking, 2 miles. He's like, yeah. So looked like Harry and Lloyd out there on a scooter. So, yeah, appreciate her for filming that.
Did it take extra weight?
It did. We were struggling. Yeah, it killed battery early. My scooter only has 7 miles of battery charge to it, and it's 2 miles here. Then it had to go 3.5 miles on the racetrack. And the thing's only supposed to hold, they said max weight on it's like 220 pounds, and Chase and I exceed that, so I think we hurt it a little bit.
When you look at here, military base, downtown Chicago, Coliseum, NASCAR's done all these different, bigger, unique things. Where do you think should be next?
That's a great question. I don't know. I think it's neat that we're doing these things. Like it excites me that we're going to different places and trying new setups. Once a year or something like that. I think it's good. Different parts of the country. Meeting people out here, like when I flew in yesterday into San Diego, I met tons and tons of people that were coming to the race. Like in the rental car line, just tons of people that flew in from Florida, flew in from Massachusetts, like to come to this event. And then obviously all the people that live out here that are coming to the race as well. So it just brings it to a whole new crowd, who maybe have never been able to come to a race before. And so where do we go next? I have no idea. I never would have thought we would have done this. So I think the sky's the limit. So it's just how creative can they get? Yeah.
Anything that you feel like they need to change before tomorrow or Sunday?
Not really. They changed up the tire wall in 12 after the track walk, which was good. You needed kind of an escape route before you didn't have one. So that was good. They changed that. Honestly, I think everything else is kind of as good as you're going to get, to be honest with you. The turn 4 crane tracks weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. They're actually pretty smooth. They did a good job of kind of paving next to those. So yeah, I thought track looks pretty good. It was fun day learning for sure.
How similar was the simulator compared to the actual on track?
Yeah, fairly similar. I thought they did a pretty decent job of scanning it the best they could. You're never going to get 100% perfect, especially the first time going somewhere. But I don't think we expected the jump in between 1 and 2. I didn't feel that on the sim. It's kind of fun to go over it though. I feel like Travis Pastrana. But it's like hand straight, like over it. Like you're kind of really having to pay attention. The exit of 5, there's a big kind of dip bump, but other than that, it's not as rough throughout that straightaway as the sim. Like the sim, it was rough the whole straightaway. There, it's just got the one kind of big one. But yeah, all the other places I feel like are pretty good. Like they did a really good job of putting everything where it needed to kind of have a thought. Yeah.
So where do you think this? Going to be more of a traditional road course race, or do you think it's going to be kind of Martinsville, rooting people out of the way, kind of race quality?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure how it's going to race until kind of we get out there. I marbled up a lot today, especially on the concrete pad areas, like from turn 10 all the way to 16. Got marbles, dusty, stuff like that. I got offline trying to pass somebody and about crashed. Kind of like you see IndyCar races get marbled up on street courses. I felt like it was pretty similar there. So yeah, I don't know how the race is going to be. Tire fall off is massive. I feel like you get 1.5 good laps on tires and then you're struggling. So that's going to be interesting trying to go 20, in a stage on a set if you do get 20. So I think it's going to be a lot of tire management and things like that. But as far as the racing goes, I think it's going to be a traditional, like what you see at Chicago. I don't really think at Chicago like you see guys rooting people out of the way just because there's no runoff. Like you're not going to – it's different at a Martinsville where you just move someone up the track. Here, if you kind of punt somebody in the corner, you're going to end up in a barrier, So I don't think it'll be like that. I think it'll be pretty good racing.
Haven't
Chase
redone the
Elliott
tire
said there was a
fall-off.
huge disparity in the speeds between some of the drivers, and he said it was basically guys willing to take a chance. And
Yeah.
how do you look at that, and how sketchy is that going to make the tempo of the race?
Yeah, it's sketchy. I mean, it's always when you come to these street courses, it's how brave do you want to be? How big of a risk do you want to take? And did anyone crash in our practice? Like,
There were a couple spins, but nothing.
but nothing, no crashing. Yeah, I mean, Shane was obviously fast. Connor was fast. Larson was quick. So, yeah, it's a lot of kind of risk taking, right? Brake zones. Turn 1 is like a big, how far do you want to push it moment. So, yeah, I think, but for me, like my goal today was just to not crash and just get laps and trying to work my way up to it. That's just kind of how I am at these new places like this. So, goal successful for today that I didn't hit anything.
Kyle Larson was kind of talking about how this is a tough practice session because you're trying to learn the track and you're trying to make